Hello, sir.
Yeah,
How are you?
cool. What's that?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Good,
How are
good,
you?
good. I got Mike from the band Yam Yam from
That's
Harrisburg.
right.
Is it from Harrisburg?
Yeah, we're from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Based out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And before we started recording, you asked me how I found your music. Well, you guys have a show coming up at the River Street Jazz Cafe
That's true.
on
We've had some good shows there.
the 27th of January. And Ben Travers, who I guess is a marketing slash booker at the Jazz Cafe, kind of set us up. So here we are.
Okay.
Wanted to talk about your music, the show coming up, like I said, January 27th, and just what you guys are all about and how you guys got together, shows you performed, all the good shit, you know?
Sure. Sure. Where you want to start, man? Where you want to begin?
Well, I mean, so I try not to do too much research. That might be a good and bad thing. I try not to do too much because I kind of want to do the fact finding organically, right? But obviously I wanted to do a little bit, and you guys are a jazz, jam, funk, soul band out of you said Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, tell me who Yam Yam is.
Well, there's five of us. We got keyboard, saxophone, bass, guitar, and drums. Most of the guys are from this area, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm from a little town called Shippensburg, which isn't that far. It's like an hour from Harrisburg. But I met all those guys later when I moved up to Carlisle, and I went to college there for a while. And then I met some friends in Harrisburg, and that's how I met Xander, who's the bass player. And he and I started jamming together. Next thing you know, Tom came along, the guitar player, and then Jason, Tyler. The band kind of fell together just from like other bands, like we were all just kind of playing, making music together, and it was kind of serendipitous, I
Okay.
think.
That happens a lot, I feel like.
Sure, yeah, sure. I mean, I've played in a lot of bands, I've played all kinds of music and all kinds of bands and stuff, all kinds of like anything you can imagine, honestly. But this band is like, having a good group of five. I think five is like a good number for a band. I like having five people. We have a good dynamic together. We have a good chemistry, like regardless of, anything else. Like we got good chemistry. And I think we make some dope music. I think we are our own worst critics, so we can never love our own music. I think we are the ones who like kind of make it or break the fate of our own songs, which is a tough thing because I think making original music these days is actually very difficult because nobody really cares. They're trying to like everybody's trying to make I don't know. Oh, is
Well,
that Jason? Uh-oh. What's up,
yeah,
Jason?
Yeah,
Jason's here. Yeah, we got Jason in
shut up.
here.
Sorry, I was just doing my School of Rock thing. We were just wrapping up.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, thanks for
Sorry
joining
about that.
us. No, you're good, man.
Rock.
Jason or Mike was like, "Listen, guy, I don't have all day. I can't be waiting around. I got stuff to do." No, he's
Sorry,
not.
man.
Yeah,
He wasn't
we
that
took a
rude.
second to wrap up. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is our rock and roll with a motorcycle and everything.
Hell yeah, that is rock and roll.
Yeah, it's the kids. You should have heard these kids, man. They were like,
What
we're
are you guys
playing,
playing? What
we're
are you guys
playing some
playing?
heavy stuff like early Metallica, Misfits, like, and I'm singing all this stuff. Like,
Of course
so my
you're
voice,
singing it, Jason. Let the kids sing, you goober.
they won't do it. I try to get them to.
It'll happen
That's
eventually.
Fun though.
Well, Jason, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for
Yeah,
having us.
Mike was just sharing kind of a little bit of information about Yam Yam and how you guys kind of got together and you know, five-piece band, kind of is a good number of members to have. You guys are your own worst critics, and I think that's kind of happens a lot. And he also said it's hard to make original music because it's a lot of people are doing it. With the internet, it's
yeah. There's a lot of stuff on going. You're competing with a lot of stuff all the time. I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
entertainment out there.
well, I
And
was
I
probably
think we're a live band. That's what people pay a ticket to see us live because we play live. Like we're all about live. I think some of my
yeah.
favorite recordings of us are the live ones, the ones where we're just
Yeah.
at the show. In
I
the
kind of
studio we do good stuff, but
would be cool because that's part of the studio is a whole different thing. It's like you get a whole different vibe in the studio. Is this video recorded or just audio recorded?
Both, man. We're rocking both here.
Oh wow. Sorry if I'm pacing. I'll stop
You're good.
pacing then.
You're good, man. You're good. I
I
don't
was
even
always
know. I don't even know how many people like watch the video versus like listen to audio. I
right.
personally listen to podcasts as audio. I don't really watch the video, but that's why
Yeah.
I figure we have both. You know, if people want to
Well,
watch it, they watch it.
we're gonna be getting clips today, right? We're gonna get so many fucking clips.
Lips.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut this up into clips. We're gonna be doing
Yeah,
reels
that's
on
what I'm
Instagram.
saying.
Yeah, you guys.
Clips. It's hard to compete with clips. That's like actually exactly what I was trying to say. You know,
Yeah,
how can you write a full song when everybody wants clips?
but yeah, they want these 30-second sound bites. You know,
Yeah, exactly. They
Well, yeah, I
want
mean that.
something.
We're playing.
Yeah.
No, people are about these 30-minute long song jams lots of times too. So it goes both ways. Like I feel like compared to a lot of the other bands we play along with, our songs go by pretty fast. Honest, like we kind of like boom, boom. Like we have, like if you look at like Lotus's set list and like people like that, it'll be like 5 songs on it. Like ours will have like 15 or like it's different.
I
Like
like that. I like that. I'm not a huge jam band guy. I appreciate the art of it all. I really do. Um, but I like lyrics. I like quicker songs. Um, but yeah, that's just me, you know?
we're not we don't fit completely into the jam thing either, honestly. Like me and Dempsey are kind of like more of a jazz background, especially I'm very much a jazz background and kind of got sucked into the jam. I liked it. I like it a lot. And like I'm down and like I'm hoping we play a little more jazz type crowds too, because I think it would go over good in that setting too. Another thing I like about Yam Yam is like I feel like I can show it to anybody I know, and it has something that anybody could like. Even my aunt Junan, she doesn't listen. She doesn't like most of the stuff I like. And like I did not think she was gonna like Yam Yam. And she came to one of the concerts. I thought she was gonna be like, that was nice, but she loved it. And I was like, she usually listens just country and not much else, honestly. But she dug Yam Yam seeing him live, and it's cool that like we can kind of cross some of the boundaries a little bit. Dig it.
Yeah, well, I love the layers. I love the keyboards and the horns and like all these different elements to it. I mean, I really do, like I said, I appreciate the art and the talent behind all those things. And it's probably really cool. Like in your said you're more of a live band, and I'm sure that like that's where it's at, right? Like,
Yeah.
and Mike and I were talking earlier before you jumped on. Like, you got the show coming up at the River Street Jazz Cafe on January 27th.
Yeah.
What can people expect from you guys at a live show?
Not as it'll sound different than the record. You listen to the record most of the time, mostly because there's layered horns and stuff on the record, but in live it's just me. And sometimes I'll have a splitter and it's just one horn, unless we have a guest. Like sometimes we do, but it's very rare lately. But yeah, it's and it's like the forms are much more up in the air. Like it's like we don't know what's gonna happen half the time. We could.
Just go with
It's
it.
like yeah, and it's a little more cohesive and like tight than like the standard jam band thing. But like it's still like if we're feeling it, we could like go into a whole different place and who knows? Once a couple times we got real metal a little bit, and that was cool. That a lot. Like and like they don't.
That's the beauty of jazz, right?
Yeah.
In chat.
Well, I'm saying that the essence of improv music is that like it can go anywhere at any time at any place. If you really treat it that way, that's the beauty of it. Like
that's spirit there, man. In my book, it's not about like
yeah, fuck yeah.
It's just like having that attitude of like, where are we gonna go? Let's just be open to it, and like and everybody has to be really on their toes to help each other out, which way you're going and which way everybody's going.
That's cool. Well, I mean, this show is, I think, I mean, obviously anyone can listen to it, but I have deep roots into the NEPA music scene, and like I'll keep referring to the Jazz Cafe show on the 27th. Have you guys performed there before?
Yeah.
Been there before? How many times? Multiple times. Okay.
I think 3 or 4 times. One time we did a show with I think it was like Benjamin Bowe or something. I can't remember who it was. There was some blues guy or something, and that was good. And then like the last time we played, there was a huge show. I remember it being like 150 people, like or 100,
Remember,
people. So I
I'm not,
hopefully that happens again. I mean, they were a great crowd, and I remember we were so thrilled, but then we screwed it up. And we didn't record it. We tried to record it and we didn't.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, that.
Yeah,
Oh
remember that, bro?
yeah, I now remember it. That was
It
unfortunate.
happens.
Really
It
good one.
happens.
Do you
Some of
have plans
the best music we played is gone into the ether, man.
It's
It's
always
gone.
on. Yeah.
well there's something to be said about that.
New Year's, right?
Yeah, we got New Year's. Yeah, we just recorded New Year's in Harrisburg. That'll be out soon.
Okay.
I hope I can say that and then be true.
There's a recording of Ramble. If we can get that show was like next level. That was cool.
We put a couple shows. We got our stuff is on Nugs. People should listen to it on Nugs. And we're trying to get it out there more.
On what?
It's called nugs.net.
Nugs.net, Nugs?
Yeah.
Is it Z? Is it Z?
I thought it was. Actually, I have no idea.
There might be 2 G's too.
But all the hippies love it.
Hold
It's got
on.
a lot of it's OG like live recordings, and we were on there. And like that's some of our good recordings are on there. Like some good shit.
I have the internet at my fingertips. Nugs. I've never heard of it. There's a Nugs NUG dispensary.
It's like old school. It's
like dispensaries.
Yeah, and I think you have to have like a membership or something. I don't know.
Search should probably pop. I can search it too. Let me see.
Oh, man, I don't Nugs. I'd never heard of this before.
You have to have a membership, bro. You have to pay a real membership. Like it's more. I don't know who puts it on, but it's for live recordings, live music, like bootleg.
All right, I got it. Nugs.net, Nugs.net. Limited time offer.
Yes, okay.
Enjoy a year of live music, including exclusive live streams for just $100.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Price goes up.
Sign up.
A lot of the big dogs put their music on there.
The big dog.
The big dogs. Like Derek Trucks and shit. Fish.
Why that video went away? Here we go.
Wow. Okay. Price goes up soon. Get 45% off the new monthly rate.
Oh, the price is going up?
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
It's the world we live in.
Yeah, inflation even on Nugs. God damn, no.
Man, I never heard there's always something new that's popping up. And maybe you said this is old.
I never heard of it either. Like then we did it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I still haven't even looked.
A lot of people are on it. Yeah, more people than it's like Reddit kind of like, tons of people are on Reddit. Tons of people just aren't.
Oh, sure. So
yeah, with Reddit. Coco's like the king of Reddit. Dude, we had a couple times where we did live Reddit streams and we can't do it anymore, but we got like 1 million views. It was many. It was
not 1 million. It was like 70,000.
No, exaggerating. It was like a lot. I didn't mean 1 million literally. I meant like it was like very like. And I remember Coco, it blew his mind when he looked at all the views. I was like, whoa, I guess I don't know what's good or not good on there, honestly. But
so
yeah.
would you say that this is very like jam band centric? Because I'm seeing a lot of like Dead and Company on here.
Yeah, My Morning Jacket.
Sure. My Morning Jacket. It looks like they have a recording from Peach Music Festival in 2023.
See, there you go. But it's not even just. I mean, My Morning Jacket. They're not a jam band, are they? I mean.
Wait, yeah. What is My Morning Jacket? Are they like folksy or something?
I don't even know. I get confused.
I wouldn't consider them a jam band, but I bet there's other stuff on there too. I bet all kinds of stuff, man.
Humphreys, McGee,
those guys are huge. Humphreys, McGee, their live recordings are huge.
Yeah, Pearl Jam's on here. Okay.
Pearl Jam, classic, dude. New recordings from Pearl Jam. Look at that.
Metallica.
See what?
Oh, so it's not just. I guess.
Jerry Garcia, Wilco.
I think that like that's like this is like Hitties or something. I really imagined it this whole time being NUGGZ. That's what I imagined it was in my head.
Well, that makes sense.
It's not a fucking T-shirt from the '90s. Like
that's literally what I thought it was. Like
it's not an airbrush fucking hat.
Vibes now, even in the jam scene. Everybody's going to 90s feel.
And you're probably picturing like graffiti font.
Yeah. Airbrush on a T-shirt from the mall, man. That's
Nugs. You're cool. Like weed's not legal yet, so you're like, oh yeah, I got nugs.
Yeah, just a jazz head. I don't know this stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I think I also saw on your website that did you guys perform at Peach Fest locally
Yeah,
here in Scranton, PA, or Montauk
Oh
Valley?
yeah. Oh
we had
yeah.
three.
3 years in a row. 3 years in a row we played there.
It was cool.
And each
Every
year was bigger than
year,
the last.
there's
So
always
that's
some
turning
each time too.
that's turned into a pretty big festival here in our area.
Isn't it
I
down now?
What's that?
Aren't they? Isn't it canceled now? It's done.
Well, so here's the thing. So sure as shit, I'm doing very limited research on you guys because like, I don't know if you were here yet, Jason, but I said I don't want to do too much because I wanted to kind of have all this organic conversation, right? So I saw that on your website. I did very little research, right? I saw that on your website though that you performed at Peach, and sure as shit, like 5 minutes later, there was a local news outlet that said, typically, let me see here. Is Peach Fest uncertain this year? Typically, fans are able to get tickets for the show already.
Oh, well, I keep
So
hearing it was canceled. That's what I keep.
breaking news on the Popko Project podcasts. Peach Fest is canceled.
Don't listen to Jason. He doesn't fucking
We
know.
don't know. We don't know.
Or it might be turning into something. Everybody, Rebecca's going crazy. They're all like, "Oh, what are we gonna do now without Peach?" Like, and that the Peach fan page. But I don't know. It might be morphing into something else too. Isn't summer camp doing that too? It's kind of going away, but turning into something else.
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know summer camp? Like, yeah, I don't really know. Yeah,
No,
that's
I don't.
another big festival. Peach is cool. Like there's three, and you can look it up on YouTube. All of our each year in a row that we did the last 3 years, and our live sets on YouTube. We got it recorded pretty high quality, plugged into the board, and yeah, it turned out nice.
That's sweet. Yeah, I'm curious now as to because that's always been like I said a big festival here in our area. And it's been growing every year. Um, and I think Billy Strings has jumped on board on that festival. He's so I
Who's
work.
the Donato guy went on after us? Daniel Donato, is that? Isn't he? Wasn't he on? He was on after us this year. We were up against
Yeah.
Ween this
Oh
last
boy,
year.
yeah,
I was mad about it. I really wanted to see Ween, and we were playing at the same time as them, and I was like, "Oh man, they're gonna take all of our crowd." But we
We
still have.
stole a shit ton of their crowd.
I know that's what happened. I felt like a little bad about it, but like it's cool too. Like I couldn't believe how many people. It was like that was probably the biggest crowd we've ever played for.
that's awesome.
It was crazy.
That was a huge crowd. And last year we played at Halloween too. That was also a huge crowd.
That was
And
big too.
we're just a bunch of goobers from Pennsylvania, and it was cool to have people digging our music down there. That's what last year was all about, honestly. And we played all over the place. People loved our music.
Yeah, if you want
Yeah,
to see some good live stuff, type in Yam Yam Peach Fest into YouTube, and those videos turned out pretty nice. There's 3 of them. And like that's a good. That's where I send a lot of people if they want to listen to stuff, even before the albums, because like Dempsey was saying, the live stuff's really
Live is better.
energy is. The studio's cool too, though. Honestly, don't get me wrong. You can do so many things in the studio that you can't do live, like
We just
Tom
gotta spend more time in the studio.
way, and like I get to do big horn sections. I get to layer the saxophone and make it sound like a big like horn orchestra. Dempsey gets to do like a billion synths if he wants to. Like we layered some steel guitar on the first album, and it's cool for that. But like the energy of the live stuff it's something you can't capture as much on a studio session.
yeah. I imagine you can do like a lot of experimenting in the studio, right? But like
Yeah.
there is something to be said for live music, and I think that's I think everyone can agree with that to an extent, just because like there too, like you say, it goes wherever it goes, right? You're feeling a vibe, it just goes a certain way,
That's what
and
jazz is all about. I think that's what
Yeah,
improvisational music is all about. The
and you
origin.
make the best. Yeah, you make the best of with what you're working with too. Like this Pink Floyd thing inspired me. There was some quote from them because they were good live, but their studio stuff next level. And they have this quote where it's like, if you're in the studio, work with the studio, like layer a million things, like overdub 5,000, overdub the vocals like a bazillion times if you want to, be studio.
Yeah.
And when you're live, you work with that strength. And it's like if you're loose and you don't try to like keep the same set of rules for different situations, then you can really make the best of every situation. And again, that jazz mentality, like
you know what I just watched that was super cool? Is this it's called The Epic. It's Kamasi Washington. And it's like
no.
a whole like live show where he has this huge band, he has this incredible band, all these singers and like a little mini chamber orchestra thing and a DJ and like 2 drummers, 2 bass players, two keyboard players. Like
is that the conductor too? Like
Miguel Atwood Ferguson on the violin. Well, he conducts.
Yeah,
and he puts together. He's got this like. He tells the story about how he puts together this music and like he just got all these guys in the room together in the studio and they just improv, and then they just from that improv they just wrote songs sort of, and then they just kind of put it all on stage live, and it was this crazy like like it's a musical like experience shit. And I like that. I want to make some musical experience shit.
That's how we record anyway, right? Kind of like get together and start working stuff out. Like,
yeah, hell yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Yeah.
That's sweet.
It's cool when everybody's like equally putting their hand in the mix of like what's going to happen too. Cause I think that's what's appealing about Yam Yam to people, is because it's like democratic in a way, like where it's just like, it's everybody. We're just a gang. We're just like a unit. Everybody's like got their strengths, and like we all like. There's no like overly focused on one thing. Like it's like not always focused on vocals. It's not always focused on guitar. It's not always focused on sax.
Everybody's represented,
and everybody's like everybody's very powerful in their own way, and it's empowering. And I think people like that. I don't think people like people like what they like, but I think it's a little bit of a fresh thing for some people that they can latch onto, where they see like a band where it's like not so much just front man and then background stuff. It's like everybody's like really like working together like in an equal way, and it's cool. That's why I liked it when I joined it. I dug that aspect of it, and like the whole like democratic attitude. And sometimes that has its like shortcomings too, but it's like if you do it the right way, like it really works.
Well, yeah, I feel like that, as a unit like yours, that tends to, everyone is kind of highlighted. Like as opposed to, let's say you're in a rock band, let's say like the lead singer is basically the face of it, right? Like, and you could swap out any drummer or guitar player or whatever. Like as long as that lead singer never changes, like the band will always live on. But like you guys, like you said, is a unit. So that's cool.
Weird if anybody changed in this band, drummer, bassist, keys, anything. If anything was different, it would really change the vibe of it a lot. Like, I think it wouldn't be as much Yam Yam anymore. Like,
yeah.
We keep saying Yam Yam. Where did that name come from?
That's you, Dempsey.
I think I was possessed. That's what Xander says. I was possessed by the Yam Yam spirit of Harrisburg.
Right?
Yeah, no, there's like it was a joke, man. I mean, it's just a joke, just a joke. Yam Yam.
Didn't you say let's go jam jam, and then you went Yam Yam or something?
That's what it was, yeah. Basically,
that's done.
You said yeah, man. It sounded like Yam Yam.
Yeah. No, I said instead of jam jam, I said let's go jam jam, let's go Yam Yam. Something like that. As a joke.
Fired
but like it has a ring, and then I looked it up too. I mean, it's like it's got all these crazy meanings and like this weird. And even in Harrisburg, apparently on the street that we were jamming on, Green Street, in the 20s, there was a fucking club called the Yam Yam Club, which is pretty wild.
And that's who you got possessed by?
They were like a drinking club or something, like all women's drinking club in Harrisburg, which is hilarious.
Wait, so in the 20s? There was
in the 20s, yeah. It was a real
women
club.
could have a club in the 20s?
Yeah, like in Harrisburg, there used to be all these speakeasies and underground clubs and shit.
That's amazing that the women back then were allowed to have a club.
Wasn't it the Flappers?
Exactly. They wanted a place to drink.
That's awesome.
And play bridge and shit, hang out and talk shit. And I respect that. I think that's amazing.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, absolutely. It just it's wild.
I think I got cursed by him a little.
Yeah, you got possessed by the women of the Yam Yam Club.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like.
That's a good story. Yeah.
Feel when I'm playing, I try to feel like I'm getting possessed by something a little bit. That's when I usually feel the best.
You should write a song and like title it that or something.
I thought
Possessed.
we were going
Possessed
to.
by the Yam Yam Women's Club or something, whatever you said, but it was good.
Yeah, work on the title, working title.
Yeah, yeah, work on that. But yeah, I think there's something there
There's a song in there, yeah.
for sure. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Trying to pull you
Whoa.
guys up now. We'll be back.
That's all started.
There it is.
Awesome.
The song is in process. But well, speaking of songs, too, you guys just released a new song back in December, not too long ago, called "Wasted."
Yeah,
Yep.
Cool song. I dig it.
thanks. Hell yeah. We put one out before that called Sizzle too, and we got some other recordings like coming up. They're done basically, but we just haven't put them out yet.
Yeah,
We're
so
trying to make more.
it's been a minute since you guys released like a full length album, right?
Yeah, I mean, we recorded an album and we recorded a couple like live things, and it's just hard to like pick with us. Like I said, we're our own worst critics, man. Like we just we can, I feel like, nitpick a project sometimes, and
Yeah.
we'll screw ourselves over. Like we'll just be like, forget it. So
Yeah.
It's
Like
hard.
it's hard. It's hard to come
out.
to consensus with your art. I mean, art is a personal thing. I personally, I have a lot of personal art and music that I don't even. Sometimes I don't play with Yam Yam. It doesn't always work with the Yam Yam. And I think each of us kind of has that spirit too. We each have our own separate sort of individuality, very individual type personality musically, which is what gives us our fucking flair. That's what makes us so dope. But then when it's come together to get all five of us to agree on a song is like a miracle. It's always like 4-1, 3-2, 1-4, 2-3. I think that's what makes it kind of fun though, because we got to keep it fresh with each other. We keep it fresh, but like it is difficult. I feel like each of us beat our own songs up the most. Like we beat up our own shit. Like like we go like, this song stinks. And it's like everybody else is like, no, your song's dope. What are you talking about? And then you're like, nah, it's dumb.
Well, I think that's what happens when you're close to something. I work during the day full time at a screen printing company called Axelrad Screen Printing. It's in Wilkes-Barre, and we lost Jason. But I think what halts a lot of our progress sometimes is like we're our own worst enemies. We're our own worst critics. And it's like
exactly.
we want to put something out, and we critique how it looks. 'Cause it was started by two local guys, in one of the guys' mom's basements. It's DIY. Like and if
Yeah, hell yeah.
from what where it is today compared to how it started is like you'd shit your pants, right? If you guys are in town early on that day that you guys are playing, you should stop by. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is, yeah, I could appreciate the critique and how hard you guys are on yourself, just because it's just, I mean, I think that's common. I think it's like it's your baby,
I think any creative person has the ability to like love what they're doing and also hate it. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, like you said, like your baby.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, I love doing this, right? This is like a purely a passion thing. I love doing it, but like I also to a degree hate it. And I hate it in that it's done remotely. It's great that it's done because I wouldn't be able to do this without, it being remote with you guys. You're in Harrisburg, right? But we just lost Jason. There's this technical we by accident.
I mean, the radio is an old school thing. My aunt, she works, on the radio too, and I get that. That's like a magical thing that is changed now.
But like we by accident we have talked over one another tons of times already. And it's just the nature of the fact that it's over the internet. There's a small delay, and so when I kind of listen back on some of these things or whatever, I'm like, oh, this is terrible. This sucks. But to a degree, it's like it's authentic. It's genuine. We're having real conversations. Nothing's scripted. Nothing about it's fake. Jason's
Sure.
back. which I mean I think is cool. But yeah, like we're saying, it's just like it's something we love, so we're obviously going to like be harder on ourselves and what we're producing and putting out than some Joe Blow.
Yeah, well, and like the people who are listening to your music or appreciating your podcast, they do love it. They fucking love it. That's why they're tuning in. That's why they're a part of it. But
Yeah.
that's why I think you have to be like, you have to give yourself some credit. And I mean, I'm talking to myself right now. Here we go. Let's talk about, like all the time. I feel like you have to remind yourself that it's important what you're doing, and people appreciate it. And if they do appreciate it, you're doing it for them, not just for you. Like, even though sometimes you are doing it for you, of course you're doing it for you. Like,
Yeah.
but do it for them first. And that's like the beauty of it. That's why I try to do it. I mean, sometimes we're on the road and I'm like, I don't want to do this right now, like. But then you do the show and you're like, I'm super glad I just did that right now.
Yeah.
Like that was sick.
Yeah.
It's like you put in the work and it pays off. And it does because you've seen it happen. Like,
Yeah.
that's why
sure.
I'm trying to live. Like for the future.
Well, let's talk about the future. Jason has transported to a car, it appears.
Jason, you back?
Back to the audio issue, dude. Like Jason's talking. We can't hear him. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, I can't hear him. He's
But
not great with the technology.
Wait, you can't hear me?
Now we can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, dude.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, somebody stole my charger from my teaching studio. So I'm now going to charge from the car.
Kids.
I think I stole that, bro. It's in the back room, dude.
Dude!
It's in the back room. You didn't check the
Where
back
in the back room?
Yeah, in that other studio, in this small studio that's in there.
I looked in the back room. Where'd you put it? In the drawer or something?
It's plugged in the wall. It's a charger in the wall.
Jeez Louise. Oh, whoop. Well, I can't go in there now. Freak Beth out.
That's funny.
Jason and I teach at the same school in Mechanicsburg, Trez Music. It's an awesome place. Trez is great.
Cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
Well, you just mentioned the future. It's early 2024. We're just getting started here. What do you guys have planned for 2024? Anything big?
I mean, we got some things lined up. We're doing the Brooklyn Bowl with Kitchen Dwellers and the River Street Jazz. That's supposed to be dope. And we're playing Ardmore Music Hall again. That's gonna be awesome. Also, we're going back to Colorado, I guess, not till the fall, I think. But for Beanstalk, whatever that, Magic Beans Festival.
Oh, sick. Are we doing Beard Fest again?
Say what?
Are we doing Beard Fest again?
I didn't see Beard Fest on the schedule yet, but it's still kind of early in the year. We still haven't booked a lot. We need to book more, actually.
Oh, cool. I like Beard Fest.
What is Beard Fest?
It's this band called Out of the Beard Space. They're really cool, and they throw their own festivals. I remember seeing them when they just formed when I lived in New Jersey, and I always saw them at Camp Jam in New Jersey, but they became they became a real force, and now they got their own festival, and it's cool. Very good, like homebrew type festival. I like those kinds. When it starts to get a little too big and corporate, it's like it's cool, but it's like, it's different.
You guys have any plans to record any of these shows live to release, or is there any any new music on the horizon?
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it, and put it on. Xander's been doing the mixing now. Xander's been doing these really nice mixes of our shows when he plugs into the board. Like, where was that one he's mixing that we, what was that one we played? He mixed and we listened to it, and it was like it sounded really nice. It sounded. I was really. He's mixing the New Year's show too, so I'm pumped to hear what that sounds like.
New Year's will be sick.
We should do it more. We were trying to do it a lot more.
Will that be anywhere outside of nugs.net?
Yeah, we might put it on YouTube. We usually put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of live shows on YouTube right now. There's summer camp shows. There's 3 different.
Yeah, we got a bunch
ones.
of. We got all kinds of fun live shows online.
Yeah. It'll a lot of stuff will pop up.
Yeah, so if you're watching and listening to this, head over to YouTube and check out these guys before their show on the 27th at the River Street Jazz Cafe.
There you go.
One thing I saw was some of the artwork for these upcoming shows on social media. And it's fucking dope. Um,
Sick.
is that from
Glad
somebody
you
in
like
the
it.
band or what?
Well, which
The
one are you
wasted
mentioning?
one?
You have a bunch of the shows coming up. I mean, I did see one for the Jazz Cafe. I'll try and find it here again, but
I can't remember I don't know the artist name that we've got, but we've got some cool new artists we've worked with for sure. And they're all
That
been super thrilled to work with us, which is great.
I'll
the
try and
tour poster in the background of Dempsey's camera, that artist was really cool. Oh, that's sick.
yeah, this is the
Oh
Jazz
yeah, I
Cafe
saw
one.
that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
It
I
I
don't
looks
mean,
know who
sick.
like,
did that.
I didn't even see that.
Do you know the guy's name that did the tour poster behind you, Dempsey? Because that was one of my favorite ones.
No, I don't know his name. I think he's from North Carolina or something.
Oh, sick. Yeah, he got that Pennsylvania Dutch Amish hex sign kind of art style down with that poster.
Yeah,
Cool as hell.
that's what we're all about, bro.
you guys should like guys should have like like a small run of these posters made for every show and sell them.
Oh,
We're
we're big
kind of
selling
doing
them,
that.
man. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
been selling.
we didn't quite run out of this last batch, I don't think.
Yeah, Mike's getting bored. He's like, I got to jam.
Yeah, what the hell, Mike?
See, I got to jam. This is lame.
There's the ADD kicking in.
No, that those. So you guys do sell some of these posters? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one that's behind Mike, we're still selling some of them. We didn't finish those. I don't think.
Yeah, but
Those
do
ones are my
you
favorite.
guys get a run made for each show or just like a poster? In
Oh,
general?
I don't know about each show. We
For
kind
the
of do it for a
whole tour.
tour.
Okay.
Yeah, we do tour posters, and it's like, and it has all the dates of every place we played. This last fall tour we did, it's
I
all on
see.
that poster. That's easier, like, because posters are pretty expensive to make
Sure.
when you make them, and people take them really seriously. Like you got to be really careful not to wrinkle them when you wrap them up. People like, it's like pins and posters. They're like pins are getting a little less popular, but now posters are becoming like a big thing.
Well, I mentioned earlier that we do. I work for a screen printing company. I think Jason, you may have disappeared for a moment, but
Wait, I'm gone.
I think no, before I think you left
Oh.
when you were transported to your vehicle.
Wait, can
I
you give
was
us a real good price on posters?
so all right. Here's my sales pitch, right? So I told Mike I work during the day full time at a screen printing company called Axelrad Screen Printing, and I said, Mike, if
Oh, I've heard of that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we print for Humphreys McGee, we print for Billy Strings.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so we do a lot of we print for Breaking
awesome.
Benjamin. Yeah, so it's a pretty it's a pretty big shop, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, we started doing some posters for from different groups. So if you ever need merch, let me know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
We're
That's
not
good to know.
we're not far from either.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I see
Dempsey
Mike.
did the artwork on that last single for the Wasted. Like when we released it, he did an artwork for that. His Dempsey does really good art too. Like,
Yeah, I drew that picture. Yeah. Heck yeah.
I see Mike's wearing a Yam Yam hat.
I got my Yam hat.
Your
It's
Yam
called
you're
hat.
that guy, Mike. You're that guy.
Well,
That
listen,
guy.
I don't I'm not mad about it. So here's the deal. I have some podcast merch, right? And after we're done here, I'll hit you guys up and I'll send you some shirts. We'll exchange sizes or whatever. But so I wear my own merch,
I'm
right?
large.
large, and well, I need your addresses too. So or maybe I'll just drop them off at the Jazz Cafe. But we'll get there. But I wear my own merch, and people are like, "Why are you wearing your own shit?" I said, "Well, if I don't, who's going to?"
Yeah, it's
But
true.
also here's the cool story. I sold merch, my own merch, because I was wearing it to the nurse who prepped me for my vasectomy.
Whoa.
Sick.
Yeah,
What? Wait, repeat that.
true story. So I got a vasectomy late 2022, and I was wearing my own shirt with my like I ripped off the Buffalo Trace logo and I put my face on the buffalo, and then I just put the Popko Project podcast underneath it.
Right, nice.
So this nurse is prepping me. She's saying, hey, you undress, put all your clothes in this bag, and she sees my shirt. She goes, "Is that your face on your shirt?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "The podcast. What's the podcast about?" So I'm telling her what the podcast is about. Blah blah blah. She's like, "Do you have these for sale? Can I buy them somewhere?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't have them publicly for sale, but I have a box at home. I sell them, here and there." She's like, "Can I give you money now for one?" And I'm like, Sure." Yeah, I mean, I guess put the money in my bag with my fucking underwear." She's like, "Oh, should I give it to your wife?" I said, Yeah, you could do that too. I don't care. Whatever you're comfortable with. You can also Venmo me if you want to do that." She's like, "I'll put it in an envelope. Here's my address." And I'm like, I
So it
swear to
works.
God, I will send you a shirt. I mean, I'm not going to try and rip you off." She goes, "This is great." I'm like, "This is the most awkward thing I've ever been a part of." But yeah, so I sold my own merch because I was wearing my own merch
See, that's
prior
good
to my
advertising. That's just
That
good advertising.
it does
That's just
work. I always feel weird
advertising
doing it, but I don't know
101.
why.
Yeah, that's like my that'd be my claim to fame. It's like what's the coolest thing you did in life? And I said, well, outside of being a father, I sold merch to the nurse that prepped me
Yeah.
for my vasectomy.
Is that is that a rough surgery? Or is it pretty easy, non-intrusive? Because I'm thinking of that about it because I definitely don't want to let it don't
Do you have
want to
children,
let anyone slip past the goalie.
do you have children now, or you just don't want any in
No,
general?
no, I don't plan on having children at all.
It's not bad.
Like,
It's seriously, you go in, they put you under, but it's like a twilight, so you're like not completely out. And I remember I went in and I came
what,
out.
you're kind of awake during the whole thing?
You're not awake. You're not awake. It's a twilight. So you're not like out.
Twilight.
But you can't like I felt like I literally went in, they did whatever they did, like, and I'm like, getting wheeled out. And I'm like, that was it? We're done? They're like, "Yep, we're done." I'm like, wow, that
Oh
was
wow, that's cool.
and I felt like I slept like for a week.
Oh, that's
And
cool. That's really cool.
yeah, it was awesome. Now, granted, I mean, it's not painful, but it's you're sore for a few days after.
Feel a little
Um,
weird.
yeah, but nothing you can't handle. Trying to think. I think I put
This
on
is the
put on
good
jeans too quickly.
advertisement for vasectomies thing.
Yeah, I think I put, I think I put on jeans too soon. Um,
Oh shoot.
yeah, that
Gotta let
was
it ride.
yeah, there was a day that I went to work
You
and I
gotta
put
hang
jeans on.
loose.
Well, I stopped taking. I'm not a big like medication kind of guy. Like so, and my wife's a pharmacist, so it's like you gotta like stay ahead of the pain. You gotta like don't stop like like finish it out or whatever. But I'm like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
good. And I wish I would have listened to her because I stopped taking pain medication. And nothing, it was nothing crazy like a high dose of Tylenol or whatever. But I stopped that and I put on jeans, and that was probably the worst decision I made because it was tight, it was constricting. Yeah, it was a bad idea. But
That's good to know. It's good to know.
I could let it fly now, so it's all good.
That's a pretty funny podcast story right there.
Oh yeah, it's like we're talking about the important things,
I mean,
vasectomies and
I've got tons of stories about I guess my dick. It's really weird. Uh, I'll share one more because it's funny.
oh sick.
If you don't mind. So
Oh no.
my wife and I we had our firstborn. He's now 6. And he was like, no problem. It was like, "Hey, do you want to have a kid?" We're like, "Yeah, let's do this." And we had sex, and she got pregnant, and we had our son. So a couple years went by.
Planned pregnancy. Look at that.
Yeah. And so a couple years go by, like, "Hey, you want to have a second one?" I said, "Yeah, let's just try and do it before, there's too much of an age gap." Sex, pregnant, and then we had a loss. And we actually had 3 losses. But every time it was like, "Let's try again." We had, how it works, sex, pregnant, whatever. So it got to a point where I don't know what happened, but we were unable to conceive. So we're like, trying to do all these things like, is it me? Is it her? So I'm having my sperm tested, are my boys swimming? Blah, blah, blah. So I had to go to the hospital and give a donation. And what I will say is, as men who need to perform a task, we deserve better material than what is given in the hospital.
I mean, you didn't just bring your phone,
What, they give
man?
you like the lingerie section of a catalog, or
No, so like they give you there's a TV, they hand you the remote, like, here you go. And I'm like, I want to see what it is. I want to see what they have to offer. It was bad. It was real bad. I
What
so
is this American healthcare system? What are we paying for?
but I was like, I mean, we deserve better. We deserve the opening scene. I'll tell you, because I had to do this twice. The opening scene of the first movie, um, were women using candlesticks.
Yikes.
that's cool. I dig it.
It's fine. And
I wonder
then
who do you think picked somebody's job? Somebody got paid to pick it.
so I'm like, okay, this is a strange start. It was older. And then the second time I had to do it, it was just I forgot the title of it, but it was along the lines of golden showers.
Oh,
Um,
geez,
and
no, that's no good.
it was just girls pissing. It was just girls pissing
They
in different
put that in the
places.
doctor's office, like
Outside, they were pissing by the pool. They were pissing in the shower. This girl's pissing. That's what it was.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy. I guess there's a lot of demand for that, maybe, if they put it in the office or whatever.
I don't think there's demand. That's what they have. That's what they've had for 20 years, and that's what you get. That's what you get.
That is odd as fuck.
Dude, I gotta say, man, I feel like I feel more confident about myself as an interviewee right now. If I can get my interviewer to tell two different dick stories about themselves, then I think we're doing a good job.
I mean, this is I told Mike before he got on, like this podcast, like I used to have a radio show for a few years. The radio show got put on hiatus because the station changed formats. Long story short, I started a podcast because, like, for the radio show, like, you can ask the generic questions, like, oh, you got you're playing a show coming up, like, oh, you have a CD coming out, oh, this, those bullshit, 2-minute interview questions, right? I wanted to have deeper conversations. I wanted to be able to talk about my vasectomy. I wanted to be able to talk about
Wait,
having to
Talk about
give
golden showers.
I wanted to talk about giving sperm samples. That's what I wanted to really talk about. So that's why I started doing this.
Now we're getting into the real shit.
This is where we're at.
podcasting, man. It's the future.
It's the well, I mean, it's the past. It's old news now. It's well, I mean, it's here. It's now, right? But you were saying before.
I guess the radio, though, the radio has changed. I mean, so much. Like, to get on the radio doesn't mean the same thing that it used to. I guess, like,
no, it's weird.
as a
But,
band, we've been on the radio. I mean, we've been on the radio plenty of times.
yeah, it's cool, right? But like you said, like, creating original music, it's oversaturated. Like, it's hard to compete with everyone else doing it. Like, that's how podcasting is too. Like, if you're not Joe Rogan, if you're not the caller daddy or whatever the hell her name is, if you're not Theo Vaughn, like, it's hard to break through.
Yeah, like everybody's doing podcasts now, right?
Everyone's doing it.
I thought about it myself too, talking about, like, having a podcast talking about all the, like, weird experiences, like haggling on money for shows, like for musicians to call in and say, like, hey, where'd you have this experience at this place, and, like, give each other tips about how to, like, do better on the road and stuff like that. That was that thing I was tossing around.
All right, well, share one.
Idea.
Share one. Share your weirdest moment having to deal with money and a show.
Oh, that's a good. Jeez.
Don't name names. Don't name names. I'm asking.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's what kept me from doing it. Like, so far,
yeah,
I'm like, how would I handle this? Like, if somebody drops, like, the name of a venue and they talk, like, bad about it, like, will, like, that be, like,
then you're blacklisted. Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, like that could be like that. So I'm like, I don't know how to go about doing that, honestly. But yeah, I've had shows where, like, the big problem is that, the buck's always passed around, so the person you're supposed to be getting the money from doesn't just dips, and then doesn't really specify who's supposed to be given the money or anything. So you're just trying to shake everybody down in the place. And then like, and they're all like, I don't know. Like that happens sometimes or a lot. Not if you have a manager though, and like we have a manager, so they make sure none of that stuff ever happens. But like if you're doing your own thing, like open mic nights or just shows and stuff, like you just different shows, jazz stuff, you're gonna have to like you get into situations where like, what do I even do here? Who do I talk to? And like, to get the money, because like, this is a job. We everybody, it's just like a job like any other job. You expect to get paid like for your work and what you put in, and like and it makes it less like that, because there's a lot of people when they get into music, you get bombarded over the head with like, oh, you should be doing it for fun, you shouldn't be talking about money. And so I try to change it to this like thing. It's like, it's not about money, it's about respect. Like if I'm playing at your place and I'm making you guys money, and you're saying I'm not worth it even giving this money, that's like a sign of disrespect. So I try to make it about that, so you don't get stuck in this like, oh, you should do it for fun thing. Of course you do it for fun. Even surgeons do what the guy that did your vasectomy like gets high off of what he does. Surgeons literally get high off of doing surgery. It's definitely not doing it for free,
Right.
So it's like, but yeah, and it's like, it's a job. And when there's a lot of people out there that don't do it, like let themselves not do it for money, it makes it harder for everybody else too, to like, because then they could be like, oh, well, this guy will do it for free, That's where having a manager is really nice, because then you don't have to worry about all that haggling and like.
Yeah. I saw something online just recently, actually. It was, a guy books a show, and the owner said, how much does it cost? And the guy's like, $500. And he's like, oh, that's kind of a lot, don't you think? And he's like, well, no, not really. Like,
That's low.
right. So it kind of gets broken down into like the guy's like, oh, well, I don't want to pay $500. Like, I'll figure it out on my own. But can you help me set it up? And the guy's like, well, yeah, but you have to do X, Y, Z. It's you have to rent equipment, you have to learn how to use it, you have to do this, that, the other thing, right? Long story short, the owner says, like, you know what, this is way too much. Like, I'll just pay you the $500 because that's a better deal, all things
Yeah.
considered, right? But yeah, I can't imagine. It's so subjective to a degree. I feel like for a lot of, especially like
People don't
venue owners,
The music
they
business
don't
is
think about what you're bringing to the table. Like, it's
all I
not
see is
just
like,
you show up and play. There's all the practice. There's the
yeah,
load in the gear. There's the driving. It's like a lot that goes
yeah,
into putting on a show. Like
yeah,
sometimes it's a whole day affair just to like get put on a show. It's
right.
not just that hour or 2 hours you're playing. It's a big thing, and it's like there's no reason to not get paid for it, like, or get paid pretty well.
Yeah, for sure.
Not like $1 million or nothing, but just a living. It's just like,
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
I mean, I think that the music business in America, or even the world, I don't know about the world, but in America, like, there's no other business where the same product gets a completely arbitrary price at every single event. Like every single
yeah.
time it's available, this product, it has an arbitrary price tag attached to it. Like, no wonder
Yeah.
Ticketmaster and Live Nation can take advantage of that, because they can just keep
Oh yeah.
arbitrary prices for $1 million
right.
for everybody. I mean, everybody's just
I mean,
stuck in this perpetual cycle. And
I
the
can't
artist
think of
is the victim of the business. The artist doesn't get to have the actual power. They have to still play the game.
any other thing, job or whatever, where like people will still just be like okay with paying you absolutely nothing. Like, I don't know. It's like, how is that even like legal? I don't even get it. Like, there's so many people that go out there and will play for nothing, and I'm like, how is that even like? There shouldn't be laws about that. Like, it's like free labor. Like,
Yeah.
isn't that illegal? I don't get it. But
some
when it
people
comes to
just
music, it's just
some
fine.
people
I don't know anything else.
some artists and musicians would argue with you there though, and say they do just want to play for the fun. They don't want to worry about the money
Oh, of course.
and I envy those guys sometimes in a way. They're just playing. They like play for the fun. That's fine by them.
I mean, that's for when you're on your own and you can play for fun at your house. You can play for fun for a charity event. I'll do that. I'll do 3 charities all day. I don't care. But when you're playing at an establishment, they're hiring you
Of
for the
course,
specific
I'm on your side,
purpose
bro.
of making money off of you. So like when they like don't want to share that with you, it's just like it's disrespectful. And the more musicians that have that in their head that think about it like that, it helps like give us more leverage because musicians do not get treated well in this country at all. You're either a zillionaire or you're like nothing. And like
Yeah.
it's hard to get that like just straight up like what's wrong with just making a living, you know? And like
Well,
that's fine.
Most musicians just want to make a living, yeah, for sure. Be able to do
Yeah.
it full time.
It's like
I think the problem lies in expectations, right? Like, so it could go with the same thing like for advertising, which I used to be in sales, advertising, radio, newspaper, billboards. It's like I'm going to pay you, you know, like this is the advertiser paying me. I'm going to pay you $1,000, and they expect to make $4,000 on their investment, right? Whatever it might be. So the I think a lot of that goes to the same concept. Like, hey,
yeah.
Yam Yam, we're going to pay you $2,000, but we expect you to bring in X amount of people,
Yeah,
and
yeah, of
those people
course.
need to
Yeah.
buy X amount of alcohol, X amount of food, whatever it might be. So there's all these like expectations that are flying around where it's like that's not
Sure.
fair. That's not fair. Like
Yeah.
as an average, like
It's
as a guy in sales, like maybe I bring the people to your establishment based on the ads you did, but like at that point, it's up to you to convert them into sales. Like they're in the door, here they
yeah.
are.
Some
It's
venues just don't even do advertising. They just expect the artist to do all the advertising and everything
that's a problem
and
too.
bring
Yeah,
to everything and just carry all that. It's like you're not just playing music, you're advertising, you're like, you know, you and all the techie stuff too. Like if you sometimes you're like I'm in the early days when I was playing younger days, like you're doing your own sound too, you know, and like you're bringing your own.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that?
I did my
Yeah,
own
you used to
sound.
bring that board everywhere, and we were doing our own sound all the time. And like that's a whole other thing. Like a lot of times, sound guy will get paid more than the whole band if it's like a newer band. You know, and that's sad to see. I don't like seeing that. Like, you know,
well,
Yam Yam's been getting paid pretty good now because of we like, you know, we go
I
you
think
go through the
we
proper
paid our
channels. You have
dues, man. We've paid
yeah, we
our
paid our
fucking
dues, so
dues
we start getting a little
time
bit
and
better
time
pay. It's
again.
still not great, but like it's like but it's like yeah, it's rough. It's rough, and I'm hoping the future it's not like we can all like make it a little bit better because like I have a lot of students and I want to encourage them to go into music and it's like hard to like encourage people to go into music when it's like such an uphill battle sometimes
yeah.
and like it has been getting better since the 90s and stuff. I think there's a lot less pay to play stuff which is absolutely ridiculous. Anybody out there just don't do pay to play. It's ridiculous. Like it shouldn't exist. There's no reason for it. Like and like unless it's like a very special circumstance, like you're renting a like whatever out to do your own like event. I don't know, but it's just like pay to play is nonsense.
Right.
Like in my opinion. Like,
Well, I think
but
the arts in general are taken for granted. You know, you talk
yeah,
about even kids in school, like the first thing they get cut from school programs is the arts and entertainment, the music programs, shit like that.
yeah,
Um,
it's just
which
seen
is a
as this
shame.
extra thing.
Yeah, you know, the sports
And it's
teams gets
not
all
though.
their sports team gets their brand new uniforms and all this other kind of shit because well, there's more people that come to the games, blah blah blah. But it's like, okay, but every kid that's a student athlete isn't going to go to the NFL.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it's weird. What's wild
Jason.
to me is like music. It's like when you talk about being a musician, there's always this instant like you're gonna do that. Like you might as well like you're gonna make a living doing music. It's like the craziest idea, but like it's the hottest commodity in the world practically. Who like what? Where do you look that music isn't saturated with music? It's like if there was no music, like there would be it'd be nuts.
Be
You know, could you
miserable.
imagine
Be
a world
miserable.
without music? It's like the hottest commodity, like next to like food. Like, you know, and it's just
It
like this crazy thing to pursue a career in music. It doesn't make sense to me.
it's taken
Like,
for granted. I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to do this, but like it's kind of topical. Like, so when the pandemic hit, I created a thing called Shirts for the Scene. So I teamed up with, this is before I worked at Axelrod Screen Printing. I was in radio sales, but I teamed up with them because they printed the shirts, but my thing was bands couldn't play. You guys couldn't be out performing. You couldn't make a living performing out. So what I did is I grabbed, I think it was over 100 bands. I got all their logos and I converted all their logos to vector images out of my own pocket. And I created an online store where, you could, or I could go and buy a Yam Yam shirt, right? Let's say it was 20 bucks. The proceeds from the sale of that shirt would then go right to you. So let's say you sold
Yeah.
100 shirts, and the
That's
proceeds
cool.
out of the $20, the proceeds, obviously there's cost to produce it, and it was small, but let's just say 10 bucks. I gave you a check for $1,000.
I like
So
that.
we ended up raising, I think, 10 grand. And what the thing was, why I'm bringing this up is because you talk about music and you talk about it being taken for granted to an extent. Like when you have a benefit, for instance, the first thing people go to is like, oh, who can we get to play it? Who's going to draw a crowd to bring in an audience to pay 5-10 bucks, donation?
Yeah.
They always go to music. They always go.
Yeah.
You
It's like,
guys
what else are
never.
they going to that place for?
But you
You
guys
know?
never. You guys always do it. You guys always. It's like not even like a question. Yeah, I'll donate 40 minutes of my time. No big deal. Someone has cancer. Absolutely no. But like
Yeah.
at this time it was like, how can we help the artists? And that was my way to do that. It was like, because you guys never asked for help. You guys never asked for anything. But it was like, now it's time for us to kind of step in and be like, hey, you guys need help. How can we
That's
help
very
you?
appreciated.
There's a lot of ways I think people want to help artists for sure. They just don't know
Yeah.
how. It used to be you bought their record, but who the hell
Yeah.
buys a record anymore? I
Nobody.
mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
now you support the artist in a way or something, which is
Yeah.
fine. But I wish people would just buy the record.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
Or merch. I mean, merch, there's money to
People
be in
buy merch,
merch.
dude. On the road, people keep buying merch. It's the best. It's so dope. They love talking to us. We sign stuff. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like such a goober every time I sign anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do you want me to sign this? Like, what? Like, I'm just some dude. Like, like, but they love it. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, let's do it. Like, sign the hell out of everything. Let's sign it all. Like, and I mean, people like, that's why that part of this game is way harder to me than I ever thought was. Than the music part. Like I love music and I love playing music, but like connecting with people is truly the heart of all of it. And if you're not connecting with people, you're missing the point. Like, and I'm trying to do
Yeah.
that. That's what I want to do. And like I suck at it sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody. Right? I just want to smoke a joint and be left alone. Like, but every time you open yourself up to people, it's rewarding. I
Well,
believe that.
Yeah. You
I'm
meet
trying
some
to do it.
characters. You meet some real characters.
Yeah, there's
There's a
so many
lot of.
people. There's help. We meet amazing people on the road.
It's cool.
Amazing people. Like,
But
yeah.
the thing is, we're human beings. Like that's like in our blood. Like we need like what, I don't care what you say. Like, and people will be like,
Always.
oh, I want to be on my phone and I don't want to talk to anybody. But like we need human interaction. And I think the downfall to a degree, I don't want to go too far into this, but like I think the problem we're seeing with the world today is we're hiding behind these screens. I know we're talking, to each other over a screen right now,
Ironically, yeah, here we are.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I could go into a lot of shit right now, but
I
like,
mean, part of that's weird though. When somebody's going on their phone, they are trying to interact with another human in
but
that way too. But it's like through an
but
intermediary.
it's black and
Weird.
white and it's text, and like the text,
Yeah.
there's no cadence, there's no tone. And like
Yeah.
I always say, I could read a text from my wife. Like let's say I'm at work, I'm having a bad day. I could take a text that she sends and read it when I'm in a fucking shit mood and be like, why is this bitch coming at me right now? Like,
You better watch it, man. She's gonna listen.
no, she won't listen to this. But no, she knows it's all fun right now. But I'm serious though. Or if I'm in a good mood, I'm in a great mood, and I see this same text, same
Yeah.
exact text, word for word, and it's like not a big deal. Like, sure, honey, what I would love nothing more than to pick this up from
Yeah,
the store.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Your
That's
inner
that's the
emotions get projected onto the text, and like,
it's the
yeah.
problem that we have. Like, we're so connected with each other, but we're more divided than we've ever been before. And I think it's because of, I don't want to like go down rabbit holes here, but like, so I work with a guy His name is Clay, and he has this like online persona where he like it's a like a parody type of account, and I work with him, so he posts this video. He wears like Jenko jeans and a monster shirt, and like
Nice. I love it.
it's amazing. Like he's a funny dude, right?
That's
So
what
he
we should
posts.
be doing. We should be wearing Jinko jeans on stage, man. That's our next.
So
Sorry.
no. So he has like this thing where he's like, oh, this is like me back in the day when my parents would ask me to take out the trash, and it's this 3 Days Grace song playing in the background. It says, "This house is not a home," and he's like wheeling the garbage out, he's punching the garbage can, all this shit, like wearing these fucking like Janko, like a grown ass adult, like living at his mom's
Yeah.
house, right?
Dude,
So I'm
I
like,
love that.
I don't. So I comment on it. Like I'm gonna like come after you. And he goes, yeah, do it, but be prepared for some backlash, right? So I comment on the post, right? And sure as shit, man, people like just came at me like hard, hard, like oh my God.
Dude, I've gotten death threats on social media, like
But there's no
posting opinions
repercussions.
about stuff. Like it's just like I've gotten like 3 or 4 different times death threats, like and like people and there are people like live close to me too. Like I'm like, oh, where's this guy live? Like in Nola down the street. Oh crap.
But that's the thing. There's
Jason,
no
why don't you give
repercussions.
everyone your address right now on the live?
I was close to
Give
doing
me your phone
somebody
number.
like I got challenged to a
Announce your
fight
social
one
security
time, and
number.
I was in an argument so bad somebody was challenging me to a fight, and I was this close to be like, you know what? Here's my address. And it's like you were living with me at the time, and I'm like, Dempsey doesn't need to be dealing with this. Like it's
So
so crazy. People get so nasty when you don't have to be in person.
oh, so I'll share. So he was
Oh,
like doing
sorry.
like no, you're good. Because you're exactly right. This is exactly what I'm saying. So he's like doing like this like gun motion to his head, right? So I
Oh
said,
man.
so I said, I'm like, yo, man, my son really looks up to you. Why you gotta be doing the finger guns to the head stuff, insinuating suicide? Be better. I got roasted, roasted. So, like for
And you were
instance,
just doing it ironically,
oh, it
right?
was just it was a joke. I wanted to see what would happen. And so instead of like people being like, you're a bad dad, like for letting your son let your son like this is like your son's like someone who looks up to like you're a bad dad. Like people like came after my son, like your son should get stuffed. Like
Oh my
just
god.
it was so bad. But I'm like, this is the world that we live in. Like, and like I made a bunch of we were back and forth, he and I, and like to the point where like you could if you didn't know it was like we were joking, like you're not a smart person.
And these people are taking this guy with his persona like that. He's actually like that kind of
So
dude, probably.
serious. And I'm like, if these people are the people that are like they're sticking up for like they believe this guy is like the real deal, we
It's
have
crazy.
problems. We have problems.
It's crazy. We lost a lot of critical thinking in the whole populace,
Yeah.
like in a deep way. It's nuts. Like, it's kind of nuts.
I'm
I'm
trying to
like, I'm a gullible ass motherfucker, man. I'm gullible as shit. And then like I see what other people are falling for, and I'm like, there's people out there that are more gullible than me. That is scary. Like it's just like
yeah. This one comment was womp womp, cry some more. It's just a video. Um he, um there's just some like good ones that like literally came after me. And I'm like, dude, just oh, um welcome your stupid son to the real world. Go back to your
Jesus
failure.
Christ.
Go back to your failure of a podcast that not one other person has. So like
Oh
leave the
my
fact.
god.
I responded. I responded to every single one. I'm like, haha, I said easy, big fella. Like someone said, you're pretty slow. I said, sweet. Like to the point, like he even came clean. He's like, this was fun. Like everyone go follow my friend, the Popko Project. Stay tuned. Like we're gonna do an episode of this, whatever. Still, even after that, even after we came clean that this was a joke that we're friends, we know each other, people were just all day long.
Oh my god.
Just people coming after me. People just coming after
That's
me. It's
nuts.
like this is crazy. Like I don't care. Like I mean, I knew what to expect, but I'm like, this is insane.
It's
People
wild, man.
people don't read like into things. But again, going back to what we are saying, like just we're reading words on a screen. There's no cadence. There's no tone. We have no idea. And it's just
Yeah,
people on the internet they just want to fight with each other. They just want to fight
yeah.
and talk shit and be assholes to each other. And it's terrible.
It's crazy.
That's why we got music. That's why I play music to connect.
That's fucking right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
It's like if you're dancing to the same groove, man. If you're dancing to the same groove, you can be like on complete polar opposite ends of a train of thought, and you can have something in common.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And like it can make the world a little bit better. And it's like it's good because I get really opinionated too, man. I get it. Like I get like I want to fight sometimes, not fight, but I'll argue. I got my opinions. I want to defend them. But like I also wanted to see like let's just screw all that sometimes and let's listen to it. Let's dance and like just forget that stuff and be humans and like have something in common. And music's perfect thing for that. Like
you're never going to change.
Really transcend.
You could be 100% right, and you could make every valid point. You can make every the case for everything. You're never going to change that person's point of view. You're never going to change. No one's gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what, Jason, you're right. You're right. Yeah, thanks a lot for enlightening me with your like. That's just not how it works. It's fucking crazy. It sucks. But I think one thing I think one thing universally, like you said just a second ago, we have music, and I think music can bring us together. I think it does bring us together. Yeah. That's why I love music. I can't play music. I can't perform it. I don't write. I don't do any of that stuff. But like, I love being a part of it in this aspect, and that's why doing this is important to me. And I appreciate your time, and I don't want to take any more of it because I'm sure you have much better.
It's been a blast, man.
At 10:20, 10:20 on a Tuesday night, you can be watching TV or playing music. I think Mike's itching. He wants to.
Yeah, I'm already.
He wants to play the keys. I think.
I got this new synthesizer, man. I'm just so jonesing to play it at a show. I haven't had a show, or I haven't had a Yam show in 3 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I get antsy.
Oh, we got some 30.
I'm ready to go. Gotta go. Hit the road. I hate being home.
River Street Jazz Cafe, January 27th.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm sure Jason looks like he wants to he's in his car. He's ready to start up and get the hell home. So
yeah, I'm just wrapped up work. No, it's all good there, man. This is one of the more fun, interesting podcast interviews we've ever done.
Yeah, come hang out. Come hang out at River Street Jazz. We'll put you on the list. We'll hang out.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
I gotta. So I do a lot of these, and people are like, "Yeah, come out." And it's like, "Yeah, I do want to do these things. I gotta be a dad and the husband, all that kind of shit. But maybe I'll try and sneak out and."
No worries, man.
No. My goal for 2024 is to attend more shows because.
Same, dude.
I appreciate. I appreciate the people that I talk to and who are like, yeah, we'll put you on the list. Like, come, enjoy the show. And I love music. I love live music, and I want to be more present in that space. So, yeah, well, add me to the list.
Yeah, come hang out, man.
I'll bring the shirts too.
Sure. Yeah, I'll wear it, man. I'll wear it.
We got merch for days too. We'll trade you some shirts.
Large and what else? Large.
What's that?
Mike, what size are you?
Yeah, large shirt.
2 larges. Okay.
Yeah, I'm large. Yeah, large.
Actually, I have new merch.
Don't have any, yeah.
Well, I have new merch on the way. Actually, I think they're really really cool designs. But we'll get to that a different day. But guys,
show us some of your stuff. Like maybe we'll collab. Artistically.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to. I think we're a great print shop, and if you guys.
What was the name of the print shop again?
Axel Rad Screen Printing.
Yeah.
Rad?
Axel Rad, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good sounds.
All right. Website yamyamband.com.
That's it.
Check them out at nugs.net.
There you go. Yeah.
Check them out on YouTube. But more importantly, check them out at the River Street Jazz Cafe in Plains. January 27th. Tickets are on sale now. They'll be on sale the day of the show. Check these guys out. A lot of fun talking to you guys. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully I'll see you.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Have a good night.
All right, guys. Take care.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.